ní àwọn bí bó ṣe ń lọ.
ọ̀dà Bùnmi o ṣeun gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe sọ fún yín ètò wa lónìí tí a pè ní Saturday morning treat ó jẹ́ àkànṣe ètò torí pé ó wà níbàámu pẹ̀lú ètò ìdìbò tí yóò wáyé káàkiri orílẹ̀-èdè wa ní Nàìjíríà lónìí ètò ìdìbò ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ àti àwọn ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ṣùgbọ́n ti wá ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ó jẹ́ àrà ọ̀tọ̀ torí pé àti ní gómìnà wa tá ti yàn ní July 16 nínú ọdún tó kọjá so fún ìdí èyí ètò ìdìbò ti wá nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin nìkan ni so ètò wa bá ṣe làkàlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí ẹ rí i pé ètò eré ìdárayá la kọ́kọ́ fi wọlé so tí ó bá di aago 8 ní gẹ́rẹ́gẹ́ a ó fún yín ní ìròyìn lórí àwọn akitiyan gómìnà wa ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tí ó kọjá lẹ́yìn èyí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí yẹ ìwé ìròyìn wò láti wo àwọn nǹkan tí àwọn ìròyìn tí ó bá dé lẹ́yìn eléyìí a fún yín ní ìròyìn ọ̀sẹ̀ èyí tí ó dá lérí ètò ìdìbò tí ó wáyé lónìí àti ìdí pàtàkì tó fi yẹ ká gba àlàáfíà láàyè gẹ́gẹ́ bí ètò ìdìbò náà ó ṣe máa tẹ̀síwájú so tó bá wá di aago 8 kọjá 20 ìṣẹ́jú àlejò wa àkọ́kọ́ lórí ètò yìí yóò wọlé ilé náà àlejò wa ó sì máa bá a pẹ̀kẹ́ lu ètò ìdìbò náà láà máa sọ àlejò wa máa bá a pẹ̀kẹ́ lu àwọn ọ̀nà tá a lè gbà tí a fi lè mú kí ètò ìjọba àwa ara wa ìjọba tiwantiwa kó máa tẹ̀síwájú àlejò wa lórí ètò náà ni ẹni tí gbogbo yín ti mọ̀ náà ni ìlú mọ̀ọ́ká ni Citizen Lọ́láwẹ̀ tó bá tó àsìkò wọ́n wọlé so tí ó bá wá di lẹ́yìn èyí àlejò wa kejì náà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ìdìbò náà la sì máa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe sọ fún àlejò wa kejì lórí ètò yìí ni ọ̀gbẹ́ni Kẹ́hìndé Fanimọ́yìn tó bá tó àsìkò àwọn náà máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ètò gbóni.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni for now we will be moving on to some other programs on the
and that
we've slated for today's special edition of Saturday morning treat.
Yes,
and we're now moving on to Governor this week.
Addressing the gathering of teachers, parents, students and civil servants, Senator Ademola Adeleke said the event marks the direct empowerment of leaders of tomorrow, saying that lack of political will by the previous administration was what led to the ranking of the state as the 34th in the Committee of States in Nigeria. The governor directed Ministry of Education to open and clean up the computer centers in all the 9 federal constituencies and consider the possibility of introducing tablets for promoting e-learning.
I hereby direct the Ministry of Education to clean up and reopen the 9 computer centers located in selected schools across the 9 federal constituencies. The facilities in those centers and routines away. We must put them to good use for the betterment of our education system.
Senator Ademola Adeleke said he is committed to improving the learning environment and empowering the teachers, as well as provision of many aids, with a view to upgrading the state from 34th position to being among the first 10 in Nigeria.
The breakdown of family system and the increasing law and order challenges in the society. The worst side is bad educational policy and lack of political will under the previous administration. The result is that Oshu is placed 34th or so on the National Examination Rating Index, which is not acceptable. Our administration is determined to change the situation for the better by the grace of God.
He identified deployment of tech innovation as the permanent approach, saying his government is prepared to deploy technology for maximum output in the education sector. He lamented the situation whereby students are not exposed to computers until a few days to their external examinations. Earlier in his welcome address, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, Mr. Adelani Aderiola, called on all relevant stakeholders in the education sector to join hands with government towards ensuring the full realization of aims and objectives of government towards achieving excellent learning.
To the relevant stakeholders in the education sector, I want to impose us all to join hands with the government towards ensuring the full realization of aims and objectives of the government led by Senator Ademola Adeleke.
According to him, items to be distributed by the governor include 45,000 daily attendance registers, 15,000 school record diaries, 16,000 cumulative record folders, among others. In their goodwill messages, Osho State ANCOP's chairman, Mr. Aderopo Ijaudola, chairman of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, Comrade Olatoke Fatadi, and Mr. Fadari Akinolu of Parents Forum commended Governor Ademola Adeleke for his resolve to fix education in Osho State.
The Oshobo-Ikirun-Ilaudo Kwara Boundary Road is one of the roads in Osho State that one would have looked forward to its completion in the nearest time. But 4 years ago, the road was neglected only for Governor Ademola Adeleke to deem it fit to complete the road project within its 100 days in office. While speaking with the people in Ikirun, he noted that his administration is people-oriented, that will always be concerned with the welfare of the people. Governor Ademola Adeleke expressed sadness that the road was abandoned for over 4 years, saying that the economic values of the road cannot be overemphasized. He also promised to fill more roads, including the one leading to the General Hospital in Ikirun.
I sincerely that the police within and outside of Smt State shall appreciate this very good effort.
Coordinating Director, Ministry of Works and Transportation Engineer Olushola Ajayi commended the contractor and the project for a job well done, saying that he kept up with the time frame.
Other executives, directors of the company, and the staff of the company for the good works done. They did the works to our satisfaction, and they kept up with the time frame given them. The time frame given them was 60 days, but they have finalized the work within 48 days.
Speaking in the same vein, the contractor administering the project, Engineer Sami Ajayi, noted that the road is connecting with local government and over 50 towns and villages. He appreciated Governor Ademola Adeleke for funding the completion of the project, which he said will improve the economy. He said in the next 18 months, the Ilaudo section will be completed. On the Dagbolu Road, which was abandoned in 2014, the engineer noted that the government needed to put more attention on the road. In his speech, the Federal Controller of Works, who represented Mr. Raji Fashola, the Minister of Works and Transportation, expressed satisfaction in the work done. He expressed his conviction that Governor Ademola Adeleke will do more if given the chance. The Oragon of Okela Oba Abdul Wahab, Adedotun, Bibire, and the Asa of Ikirun also lauded Governor Ademola Adeleke for job well done.
Presenting the 3-volume report, Chairman of the Committee on Staff Audit, Appointments and Promotion Review, Dr. Muyiwa Oladumiji, said there are so many atrocities being committed by management of state-owned tertiary institutions, where the number of part-time students and staff are more than the number of full-time students and staff. This, he said, was responsible for the trajectory of Osun being broke.
Part-time students, more part-time staff compared to full-time. The full-time teachers and lecturers are few, the full-time students are few. The problem is the truth is that government gets to know only about full-time. That's what they report to government. They don't report about the part-time students. And ditto the lecturers too, only the full-time.
Also speaking, the Secretary of the Committee, Dr. Olayinka Odejide, thanked the governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, for the confidence reposed in them, saying that the committee received over 100 petitions and appealed to the governor to kindly consider the recommendations of the committee on matters of core civil service.
We had about 129 petitions, and of the 129 petitions, we had over 60, about 65 from the core civil service, which reflected some discrepancies in service. People who were not properly treated, those who are supposed to be promoted were not promoted, those who are people stagnating, some kind of favoritisms and all that. So we had a lot of complaints from the core civil service that had to do with individuals. So by the grace of God, we were able to handle some of them.
Responding, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke commended the committee, saying they have done a yeoman's job. He said the results of the committees he set up upon assumption of office have revealed a lot of decadence in the way previous governments handled the business of governance in Osun State. He therefore directed the Committee on Staff Audit, Appointments and Promotion Review to dig deeper into other areas of agitation previously not covered by their terms of engagement and come up with a holistic recommendations upon which the government will issue a white paper.
I commend the committee for putting this thing. All this thing is not easy to put together. Can we please give them a big round of applause? You have done a human job. You see, when I came in, I told them that it's not going to be business as usual. When we came in, we have to form a lot of committee to look into everything that has been going on before we came in. And we are getting results. The result that we are getting is so embarrassing that this is what you call a government or what? Everything is upside down.
Upon arrival at the governor's office, the top echelon of all security agencies, including the police, the Nigerian Army, Air Force, Navy, Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense, NSCDC, Nigerian Immigration and Nigerian Correctional Services, as well as the Department of State Services, DSS, went straight into a closed-door meeting with the governor, who was joined by his deputy, Prince Kola Adeusi, the head of service, Mr. Anyole Yaina, and the spokesperson to the governor, Malam Olawale Rashid. After the meeting, which lasted about 2 hours, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke said he was rest assured that the security agencies will do more than they did during the last presidential and National Assembly elections, which went peacefully. According to him, residents of the state should come out en masse and exercise their franchise without fear of molestation or harassment, while calling on anyone with intention of causing crisis to have a change of heart as security agencies are up to the task.
You can see that I'm happy after the security meeting. So I've given a directive that the way all the security chiefs, agencies, the way they handled the election on February 25th, the way they handled it, that everything was free and fair and there was peace. I want them to do the same thing come this Saturday. And I've also given a directive that they should do more to make sure that anybody that is fake police or whatever, or everybody that is threatening the peace of the state, the one that we are enjoying under them, should not be tolerated. And they all agreed with me, and I'm happy.
Speaking to SBC News, the police commissioner in charge of election, Peter Awoyomi, assured residents of adequate protection of lives and property, saying that the election will be rancor-free.
Moving from one place to the other with a view to cause problem, we are equal to the task. For those who are thinking that they could create havoc in the state, I am thinking that they should have a rethink, because for every action there will be consequence for their actions.
The State Controller of Immigration, Mrs. Abolide Beraji, equally warned foreigners to stay away from polling stations, saying that the agency will apprehend any foreigner caught trying to compromise the electoral process.
I want to tell the citizens of the state that under no circumstances should somebody that is a non-Nigerian vote or participate in the election. It is a crime, and we don't want anybody that is not a Nigerian to vote.
Yes, you are welcome back, and many thanks to Abdurrahim Adekileko for that beautiful report. I mean, Governor's report, the report on Governor's activity in the previous week. Now, let's go to the newspaper review.
Yes.
And we shall be reviewing the Nigerian Tribune newspaper today. There is this headline: election stress, losses. There is epidemic of mental illness among politicians. That is coming from the psychiatrist. But let me go to the story. Fear of violence as governorship and state assembly election holds in 28 states today. Governorship and House of Assembly election hold across the nation today amidst apprehension that they could be marred by violence. 28 states are holding governorship election while the remaining 8 are off-season states, but houses of assembly election will hold there. Out of the 28 states where governorship elections are holding today, 11 are witnessing incumbent governors seeking re-election. These are Oyo, Lagos, Kwara, Ogun, Zamfara, Gombe, Borno, Nasarawa, Yobe, Bauchi, and Adamawa. There are fears that there may be violence in some of the states, particularly Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Kwara, Kano, Enugu, Kogi, and Rivers, among others. However, security agencies have assured Nigerians that all necessary steps have been taken to protect voters, election officers, and the generality of the people throughout the voting period. Police authorities have stated that tighter security measures have been taken to ensure the overall success of today's governorship and House of Assembly elections across the country. Heads of security agencies and paramilitary organizations held strategic meeting in Ibadan, Oyo State ahead of today's elections, where they assured voters and other categories of Nigerians of adequate protection and arrest of all violence tendencies in order to ensure peaceful and credible polls. The meeting, the second in 1 week, had in attendance top officials of Nigerian Air Force, the police, Nigerian Immigration Service, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, State Security Service, Nigerian Customs Service, among others. A committee after the gathering stated that the meeting was convened to review performances during the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections with a view to having a better outing today.
And speaking of security for today's election, no fewer than 11,000 police personnel, including 5 commissioners, 9 assistant commissioners, and about 4,000 operatives from sister security agencies have been deployed for today's governorship and House of Assembly elections in Delta State. The Deputy Inspector General, Police South, Mr. Moses Jitobo, disclosed this in Asaba while assessing the security arrangements for the elections. And from Bauchi State, State Command of the Nigeria Civil Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has deployed 3,000 officers and men across the 20 local government areas in the state on election duty. The deployment of the officers and men for the governorship and state assembly elections was done in line with the directive of the Commandant General of the NSCDC, Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Audi.
Now, before we go to the report of the week, let's quickly have this story. YPP deputy governorship candidate, 3 others kidnapped in Cross River. The deputy governorship candidate of Young Progressive Party in Cross River State, Prince Agbo Onyi, and 3 others have been kidnapped on the Calabar Liged Highway in the state. The incident occurred Thursday night while the victims were on transit on the highway. At the time of this report, it's not confirmed if the victim's family has been contacted by the assailants. Yeah.
And this is coming from an observer group. An observer group, the Electoral Hub, has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission to address the challenges of transmitting election results from polling units in order to remove credibility questions on election results.
All right, Bumi, this is where we are going to round it up, and we now have the report of the week before we commence the discussion on the election proper.
As preparations for the conduct of the Saturday governorship and state houses of assembly elections continue, politicians have been admonished to see the election as a game and not a do-or-die affair. In separate interviews, religious leaders, including Pastor Ezekiel Olajide, Chief Imam Adebayo Fasasi, and Chief Ifakayode Ifaniyi called on individuals to pave way for peace in the Saturday polls. The clerics added that rancor-free election will only bring each free, fair, and credible elections with good results. They called on parents to warn their wards not to be used to disrupt elections, while appealing to political operators and electorate to desist from vote trading and any act capable of violating the rule of law.
Play the game as it ought to be. If you regard politics as or election as a sort of a game, there should be no need of fighting, especially when we believe that we want to serve people. So I will expect them not to fight.
What I like to preach is that I want the election to be peaceful, to be out of rancor, so that the election will be as peaceful as we expect, that like that of a presidential election.
They must obey all the election law in their various units, and as soon as you vote, go back to your home and expect a good result. But don't just fold hand, not fold by, and don't demand for any money, but you should know the candidates of your choice and vote peacefully.
They further call for peace among key players in the Saturday polls, enjoining all to participate in the elections with patriotic zeal in order to make Nigeria a better place for all to live. The respondent spoke on the need for Osun State to maintain a position as one of the most peaceful states in Nigeria, noting that no meaningful development can be achieved in an atmosphere full of rancor. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odu Nuga, OSBC News.
Yes, you are welcome back. Still the Saturday morning treat, and we are on the first guest platform of the program, where we'll be talking about governorship and state assembly elections, the way forward. Who is our guest?
Yes, our guest is Citizen Olawe. She's going to give us in-depth analysis about elections and some other issues concerning the election proper. Yeah, Citizen Olawe, you're welcome to the program Saturday Morning Trades.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming on the program today. The topic today is governorship and state assembly. You know, we'll be having an election today, and the issue to be discussed is basically elections, nothing else. Governorship and state assembly elections, the way forward. Now, we've had the presidential and national assembly elections, and there are a lot of complaints that dotted that elections by interested parties. Let me say the interested parties. They were complaining about the conduct of INEC, that the election was not perfect enough, that they refused to trans. Now, as we are having the governorship and state assembly elections today across Nigeria, what is the way forward in order to ensure that the election of today will be an improved one over and above what we had in the presidential and national assembly elections?
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to say something, that the election we had about 3 weeks ago was, I would say, it was the best that we've ever had, apart from that of 1993. Yes. And I will tell you reasons why I believe it was so. One, we see that the number of voters was very low. Not because, that wasn't because the voters turnout was low. But because real voters, valid voters were the ones that were counted. Secondly, there wasn't much violence. The violence we had all over the country were pockets of violence.
Not on a large scale.
Not on a large scale as we used to have. There were no cases of ballot box snatching and so on. No issues of ballot box stuffing.
Stuffing of ballot boxes.
And then even when we had the card readers, cards of dead people could be used, were then used to vote. Anybody could use, once the card, it's a card that is numbered, not the individual. So people had amassed cards that they were using to vote, and that was rigging. But this time around, the card will be read, your fingerprint will be read, and your facial features will also be accredited. And without those three, without the beavers authenticating of those criteria, the voter will not be able to vote. And that was why we had only valid voters voting. And it was only the votes of valid voters that counted. Those who bypassed the beavers made the results of their polling units to be cancelled. So that's why I'm saying that the election. Going forward, INEC had 3 weeks to improve on what we had 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, I was out as a domestic observer. I noticed that some materials that were supposed as assistive materials that were supposed to be made available for people living with disabilities were not available at the polling units where I observed the election. But I believe that by now INEC would have, based on the reports that some of us would have made those things available. There was INEC ought to provide magnifying mirrors for albino. INEC ought to make available braille guide for the visually impaired people. And then the ballot boxes and the polling unit supposed to be placed in a place that will be easily accessible with people living with physical disability to make voting easy for them. And then we also noticed last time that at least at the polling units where I observed the election, the boxes were placed in such a way that others could see the candidates that were being voted for, which made vote buying quite easy. Because they were able to confirm who the voters voted for. And I noticed that at the end of the voting exercise, immediately the person completes the voting, they were giving numbers which I believe would be used to redeem their reward. And then it's reflected in my own report, so that INEC, because that wasn't supposed to be so. It wasn't supposed to be so. Yes. So I hope that by today, improvements would also be made in that area. And then we also discovered that some of the ad hoc staff did not even understand their job. They were not conversant. Some of them did not even have the courage to affirm their authority.
Okay, to assert their
authority where they were deployed to the polling units that they were supposed to.
Meaning they were being influenced by some people.
So many things happened that were not right, but gradually they kept making adjustments. But it wasn't still perfect. But I believe that all those identified errors would have been corrected by today. The polling unit where I also observed, elections started at the right time. By 8, the polling, the ad hoc staff introduced themselves and then addressed the electorates, and voting started at exactly 8:30.
8:30.
Yes.
Before you continue, you said that initially the ad hoc staff, especially the core members, they were not able to assert
their authority at the
initial stage.
And then there was also an evidence that they were not properly trained. I think the training was rushed.
Okay. Now, in the area of inability to assert their authority at the initial stage of the process, could it be attributed to the fact that most of these core members are strangers in those areas where they are posted to work?
No. They were afraid of violence.
Okay.
They were concerned about the safety of their lives.
Yes.
The polling units where I observed the election, there was one security person who was also roving.
Okay.
I think he was assigned to more than one polling unit. So he was not permanently at that polling unit.
Just a security personnel.
And then these youth corpers live in that community, serve in that community. So they can be easily handled during and after the election if they do not do the bidding of the community people. And these are young people.
So young. So young, they are young.
So I quite understand, their plight.
Okay. Now, what will you recommend for INEC in this regard?
I think they should, I do not support the idea of using core members actually, but because their service is cheap. And then when you pay somebody with peanuts,
stipends.
Peanuts.
Not even stipends.
The person will give you monkey service. So if we want to get it right, we must engage the service. It might be, you may ask people of honor and integrity to volunteer, to serve. Those that, but in this part of the world where we have problem with trust, and it might create problems because you don't even know who to trust. In Nigeria, in the past, if you are a religious leader, you are highly respected, but not anymore. In the past, traditional leaders were held in high esteem, but not anymore. In the past, you hold lawyers, medical doctors, teachers in high esteem, but not anymore. This is an evidence that our religious organizations have failed in discharging their duty to God and to humanity. Because now emphasis is on money. Emphasis is on material well-being. So it's difficult to say, okay, this is the category of people to use. We use the police, we run into problems. because we have serious problems with corruption. So I think the best that INEC can do is also to continue to use those core members. But I don't know how easy it will be for them to move them from one community to another. Now that also comes with a challenge. You move them to a community, if there's violence, they are not familiar with the environment. So it makes escaping, running away when there's violence difficult. So I want to believe that that is why they use corpers that are serving in that particular community to work serve as hard work, INEC hard work staff.
Yes, citizens.
So I think the best that we can do is to improve on the level of security provided, and then give those who we serve adequate training. Adequate training. They must know what their responsibilities are. They must also understand what the obligations of the electorate are. They must also have confidence in the security personnel deployed to the units.
Citizen Olawe, as a domestic observer in the last election, I want you to tell us what your observations are on your way to the studio.
This morning, although I came very early, so people probably were not yet out, because I didn't, unlike the last time, the polling unit where I observed the election, before 8, people were already, electorates were already at the polling units. The ad hoc staff were also already at the polling units to remove all campaign materials and also paste the list of voters, valid voters for that particular polling unit. And I saw that the enthusiasm that greeted that election, I didn't see it this time around, and I have a feeling that we may not even see it.
Citizen Olawe, please, we would like to cut you short on this note because we will be receiving a video call from one of our reporters right now. Hello, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still around.
Who is speaking, please?
Adeyemi Aboden is speaking from Ibokun.
Okay. Go on.
Ibokun headquarters of Ibokun local government area of Osun State, and in particular, I'm at St. Peter's Primary School polling unit, Ward 1, Unit 3, where voting has commenced. As you can see, the background, the voters are already on queue, and INEC ad hoc officials are doing the capturing, using the Beavers machine to capture voters here already. Though the turnout has not been so impressive, unlike the last election, where we have so many people on the queue by this time. Same could not be said of the current election. Though INEC officials arrived on time, they arrived before 8 for the commencement of the election, and security personnel are also on ground as well. But the turnout has not been so impressive. As you can see from the background, that is one of the contestants for the House of Assembly election in Obokun local government. The serving lawmaker in the House, Honorable Adeyemi Adewumi, is also a contestant today. So he's on the queue. The machine, I suppose the machine has not been responding, but I think they are working through it to ensure that it works normally. So the situation here is calm and cool. The party agents are also here waiting, looking at the proceedings here at Ward 1, Unit 3, Obokun local government area. So the elderly ones are being treated specially as laid down by INEC rules. So they have been seated and they will be attended to separately. Likewise, the women are in a separate queue. The men are also on a separate queue. So the situation here is orderly at St. Peter's Anglican Primary School unit, Ward 1, Unit 3 in Obokun local government. So from here, we move to other places, but the situation here is calm and cool, and people are responding to the rules and regulations guiding the election here.
Thanks for the update. Yes. And is there any sign of violence or any other thing there?
No, everything is cool and calm. No hitch as at now. No hitch as at now.
Okay, thanks for the update.
Thanks.
So welcome back to the studio, and we still have Citizen Malawi with us on Saturday morning treat on election matters. As Osun State is going to vote their representatives into the State House of Assembly. And Mrs. the studio, please continue with what you were telling us.
Yes, I have a feeling that we may not have the kind of turnout that we had last time. Not because this particular election is not important, because I want to see that this is a very important election. Because this is when we'll be electing our lawmakers, those who will make laws that will impact our life directly. About who is being voted for. But unfortunately, I am not sure that enough voters' education has been done. I'm not sure that we actually understand the importance of voting the right people into office. And then another factor that may also affect today's turnout is cash crunch. The issue of cash crunch. That is out that we're presently experiencing in Nigeria. And Osun State is not an exception.
It is not.
And then the high cost of transportation. I traveled on Wednesday and came back on Thursday. I just went around to get the fillers. And then the discussion out there is that most people who traveled home during the presidential election had challenges going back
to their destinations.
To their various stations. So they may be discouraged from coming back home this time around to exercise their civic duty. So that may affect the turnout of voters. For today's
how about vehicular movement?
Vehicular movement, I saw some few vehicles on the road, although that was still before 7. But I believe that probably by 7 a.m. there shouldn't be any vehicular movement on the roads.
Okay, now, Citizen Olawo, the other time you were talking about you assessed the previous election, presidential election assembly, and you made reference to a pockets of violence here and there during that election.
Yes, not
that the violence was not on a large scale as we used to have it before. Now, is there anything we can do to make our election totally violence free?
What we can do is to educate the people. One, they must know their rights and obligations, which presently I believe they do not know. They just believe that it's a routine that we do every 4 years to just vote for somebody, use that opportunity, collect money or get stomach infrastructure.
So
they do not understand the importance of electing right people into office. And I'm also sure that the electoral body and the political parties ought to educate the populace. But because they are benefiting from the ignorance of the people, they are not doing that much. National Orientation Agency also has a lot of job to do. The civil society group that I belong to, we have a greater job to do. We come out few months to the election. Immediately after this election, you won't see us active anymore, talking about governance. And we wouldn't get good governance unless people know exactly the benefits of participating in an election, and not just participating, but getting it right. Once our people understand why they have to vote, who to vote for,